What's up, everybody? I'm Carmine and I play bass, and today we're going to talk about the one scale that will unlock the whole bass guitar for you. Today I want to talk about what I think is the foundation of Western music and the one scale that will accelerate your learning on bass guitar. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you so much to the new subscribers. A bunch of you have been commenting and liking and jumping in. If you're new to the channel, please leave a comment down below, feel free to subscribe for more bass content. I've really wanted to make more bass content for a while, and it's been going really well thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for staying tuned. We're going to talk about learning and mastering the major scale on bass. We're going to go over a few exercises and different approaches to really having that stick mentally when practicing and getting your hand strength down while playing a major scale. At the end, we're going to touch on some arpeggios that you can use within the major scale that I think will help you internalize it a bit stronger. I'm aiming to make this video mainly for beginners and people who are new to music theory. I got a comment on a video, I think 2 uploads ago. That was someone asking if I could dive deeper into this topic. I thought it was a great idea, and I'm trying to keep it as educational and simple as possible. A scale is a series of particular notes within an octave. A major scale uses these particular steps within its scale. Whole step, half step, whole, half. When I learned this conceptually on paper, I had already been playing bass for a few years. I already had habits in the way I understood music theory on here. There might be a bit of band-aid ripping off that needs to happen when you start to reshape your thinking within the context of music theory that has existed for thousands of years. If you don't care much for theory, by all means disregard those parts of the video. You will hear terminology such as the step intervals that are within the scale. We'll refer to that first part and the terminology in that as kind of a roadmap throughout the video. The goal here is to both conceptually and practically understand what the major scale means and what it is. To me, this scale is what unlocked everything else for me on this instrument in particular and on guitar as well. The main reason being, at the end of the day, this is a guitar, and patterns are sort of set up throughout the neck to be extremely repeatable. These patterns are repeatable almost identically up and down the neck, keyword almost, being that these patterns are so repeatable. You can learn things in different keys so much simpler than piano, saxophone, older instruments such as that. So it's in your best interest to learn the major scale along with a lot of other basic scales and pentatonic scales and so forth that we can touch on in other videos. By learning the major scale and really mastering it, you're not just learning that one scale, but you're kind of giving yourself a jumping off point for any other scale you want to learn. Back to the first thing that I said, it's kind of the foundation of Western music. Every other scale is going to be looked at by how different it is from this major scale. So if you learn this one first, really sit with it for a few weeks or a month and understand it, everything else gets that much easier. Let's try to view the scale this way throughout the duration of the lesson. Okay, so first things first, let's play through the scale and revisit the boring stuff as we go. Now that we have that, here are some suggestions to help it stick. Play it slowly to a metronome. Play it fast to a metronome, generally somewhere at your speed limit or your speed capabilities. Play it over a song in a major key that already exists out in the world, or loop up some guitar chords or keyboard chords or something to make it a little bit more musical and actually put it into context. If I were learning this again today, I would repeat those patterns every day over and over and over again until it stuck, until I started really getting comfortable with the fingering and the pattern and all of that stuff, until I could do it from memory with ease. I generally think internalizing something like this takes a handful of hours, but once you learn it, it is very hard to unlearn, and it will become something that you just put into context in your real life playing every day. As I've said a million times before, once the concept becomes a tool that you use, it becomes very hard to unlearn. I like to practice this stuff over a lot of different tempos and real life examples. It just makes it more musical. It's going to make it stick a lot faster and in a lot more meaningful way in your brain. You can learn these concepts on paper all you want, but the more you put it to real life application and give your brain a reward for learning it, the more it's going to stick, the more you're going to want to use these tools. Reward your brain, make it fun, make it stick. I think it's safe to say most of you watching this video just want to be really great bass players. You want to be cool and confident with the stuff that you're playing. The real challenge with anything theory-based, scale-based, exercise-based is to just not get bogged down in the technicality of it. This is essentially square one, and believe me, music theory goes a whole lot deeper. Just know any lesson like this is geared toward getting you to understand and learn these exercises and techniques, but practicality is always a top priority and the most important focus. Here's a fun way of practicing new concepts that I've recently learned. Loop up some chords in the key of C with a drum beat behind it. Pick a tempo. Start somewhere medium tempo, maybe 90 BPM. Play the scale over it. Then, after enough practice in playing the scale in ascending and descending patterns, start playing different notes from the scale at random. Continue doing this and keep switching it up. Congratulations, you're improvising. Maybe you even walk away from this exercise with a beat or a new song idea that you just started. Another way I like to make learning this more fun is by starting off with a super dry, plain tone, and then over time, as you start getting better at it, playing the same exercise in a more heavily affected, fun tone. Starting with the dry, plain tone really allows you to hear transparently what your fingers are doing on the bass, and that's really important. It's really important for you to recognize where you're messing up, where maybe you're not pressing down hard enough, or maybe you're not plucking properly. Using a more fun, heavily affected tone is going to help put it in context for you, help just make it more entertaining and take this super simple, basic concept and make it something more musical. Listen with the plain tone first, maybe record yourself and play it back so you could really be honest about what you're playing and how you're playing. From there, just have a lot of fun. Throw some distortion on there, throw some phaser on there, some flanger, some reverb. I don't care. Throw whatever you want on there, but make it fun and make it a realistic thing that you'd want to use and jam out with. Okay, I don't know if that was all too simple for you or if you got something from it. I hope you got something from it. If you stuck around this long, I'm assuming that you're gaining something from it. This is a little bonus part of the video I wanted to add on to the end. We're going to go over a simple arpeggio in C major. Once again, very transferable through the entire neck of this bass. And we're going to learn this coupled with the major scale that we practiced earlier. And between those two things and all of these other techniques, you should have a great month's worth of work to practice and put in to really learning and understanding this concept. We're going to play this C major 7 arpeggio. Same rules are going to apply to this exercise, okay? So you're going to play it slow. Very slow. You're going to play it fast as you can. You're going to play it over a song that you like. You're going to play it clean, and you're going to play it with a dirty tone. And just repeat those steps and do them over and over again. It'll start to get so much easier the more you compound and build on that day after day. You could probably hear in this exercise, it's already starting to sound like a song. There's tons of songs that you know that open with a bass line doing exactly that, or maybe it's a different lead part, or maybe the singer is going along that arpeggio, but it gets you to view the bass and the neck of the bass a bit more from a vertical perspective as opposed to a horizontal perspective. So the way we just learned the scale before is also moving in a vertical up and down sort of manner, but we're string jumping a little bit more frequently here, and we're not like slowly climbing up note by note. And that is really good for your brain to sort of internalize. It's a bit more challenging. At the end of the day, you can run these arpeggios. And you can start to piece the different keys together and the different chords together and start to show yourself like, oh, I just have to really do the same thing here that I do up here and vice versa. Learning these things in different positions on the neck will also get them to solidify. And I think over time, as it starts to click, you'll understand why I consider it, and a lot of people consider it, the foundation of, modern music and Western music, and really the foundation for unlocking and learning this instrument. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this whole time. And once again, thank you so much to the new subscribers and everybody leaving comments and liking the video. It really means a lot, and I really appreciate the support. This lesson and this channel are really aimed at getting you to learn some of these concepts, kind of a theory-ish, theory adjacent sort of lesson here today, but really getting you to learn and practice on this instrument more effectively. And remember, you don't have to be the fastest or the most technical bass player in the world. You just have to be funky. Peace.